Hello friends, with evolution of MIS for many years now, there have been various issues existing from time to time. Experts always find ways to overcome such issues and systems continue to evolve and mature over the periods. In today's session, we shall understand the importance of quality assurance in information systems management as well as ethical and social dimensions of quality assurance. Let's understand what is quality assurance. Quality assurance is a way of preventing mistakes or defects in manufactured products and services, avoiding problems when delivering solutions or services to customers, which ISO 9000 defines as part of quality management focused on providing confidence that quality requirements will be fulfilled. Quality assurance comprises administrative and procedural activities implemented in a quality system so that requirements and goals for the product, service or activity will be fulfilled. It is the systematic measurement, comparison with a standard, monitoring of processes and an associated feedback loop that confers error prevention. Two principles included in quality assurance are fit for purpose, that is, the product should be suitable for the intended purpose, and the second is right first time, that is, mistakes should be eliminated. Quality assurance is not only limited to manufacturing and can be applied to any business or non-business activity, including design, consulting, banking, insurance, computer software development, retailing, investment, transportation, education and translation. It comprises a quality improvement process which is generic in the sense that it can be applied to any of these activities and it establishes a behavior pattern which supports the achievement of quality. Quality of information. Now, information is a vital resource in today's world. Usage and broadcasting of information must be wisely done. Good quality information placed in the right context at the right time tells us about the opportunities and problems well in advance. Quality could be considered as a value or index that would be vary according to users and uses of the information. Possible dimensions of information quality are contextual. It represents relevancy, value added, timeliness, completeness and amount of information aspects. Intrinsic. It represents accuracy, objectivity, believability and reputation aspects. Representational. It represents interpretability, format, coherence and compatibility aspects. Next is accessibility. It represents accessibility and access security aspects. Now let us briefly discuss few best practices for implementing quality assurance. First, document the policies and standards and make them available for the reference to all stakeholders. Remember, it can be difficult to implement quality if there is not a shared and common understanding across all stakeholders of what is to be achieved. Second, ensure that the technical infrastructure of organization is capable of implementing the policies and standards defined and agreed. For example, without identity management implemented, single sign-on cannot be achieved. Third, ensure to secure all the necessary resources. This can include technical, business expertise, investment in software and hardware, investment in training and staff development, etc. Fourth one is having systematic checking procedures in place is important to ensure that the policies are being implemented as desired. Fifth one is maintain audit trails. It helps to have a record of results of your checking procedures. This can help to identify and analyze trends which may indicate failures in the procedures. For example, a sudden growth in the number of non-compliant HTML resources may be due to deployment of a new authoring tool or a lack of adequate training for new member of the project team. Sixth one, very important, learn from others and share your experiences. Leverage knowledge of subject matter experts in various areas wherever required. Share your expertise and experiences with others that are seeking help in subject matter. Sometimes it could be useful to find quality assurance focused case studies providing desired insight in the overall topic. Seventh one is aim for fitness for purpose, not perfection. See, implement fitness for purpose, that is based on the levels of funding and other resources availability and other constraints. Note that perfection is not necessarily a useful goal to aim for. Indeed, there is a danger that seeking the best may drive away from desired objective. Eighth one is remember that quality assurance is for you to implement. Leverage all resources available to implement quality assurance. Ninth one is seek to deploy quality assurance procedures more extensively. Look out for broader opportunities where it can be implemented. For example, rather than seeking to implement quality assurance in a project, it would be more beneficial to have quality assurance implemented at a higher level, such as within a department or at an organizational level. System quality is a degree of excellence of system. It checks the efficiency of the system, meaning it keeps checks on how efficient the system is in terms of functionality, reliability, usability, efficiency, maintainability, portability, etc. Now let us discuss different methodologies of quality assurance. First is regular feedback and follow-ups. Regular feedback and follow-ups allow the organization to keep a measure regarding quality assurance. Feedback allows organization to ask and find out the shortage, and then the management can work towards improving the quality of the system. Periodic follow-ups allow the management to keep a measure during routine work. Next is adequate requisition and specification about quality assurance. Management must set requirement and specification about the quality of the system. Quality assurance measurement should be kept updated so that it should also be tested and maintained. Next is adequate testing. A system and software should be tested properly and as per the requirement and specification, so the quality of the system and software can be maintained. Now let us understand the management's role in the system quality assurance. Management must perform roles and responsibilities with regards to the system quality assurance. Management must establish and maintain the system requirement and specification. Management must establish and implement processes and procedures for system development and deployment. Management has to maintain the evaluation process. Management must keep a check whether the system is adequately tested or not. Management must provide proper training to all the stakeholders. management must keep itself involved in each and every phase of system: inception, design, development, testing, go live, ongoing maintenance, and until sunset of the system. Whenever we discuss about quality assurance in information system, we do have to consider ethical and social issues. Now, ethics refers to the principles of right and wrong that individuals acting as free moral agents use to make choices to guide their behaviors. Information systems raise new ethical questions for both individuals and societies because they create opportunities for intense social change and thus threaten existing distribution of power, money, rights and obligations. Ethical issues in information system have been given new urgency by the rise of internet and electronic commerce. Internet and digital firm technologies make it easier than ever as assemble, integrate and distribute information, unleashing new concerns about the appropriate use of customer information, the protection of personal privacy and the protection of intellectual property. The advances in the information technology has ripple effect, raising new ethical, social and political issues that must be dealt with on the individual, social and political levels. This demand individual actors to confront with new situations, often not covered by the old rules. Social institutions can't respond overnight to these ripples. It may take years to develop etiquettes, expectations, social responsibility, politically correct attitude or approved rules. Political institutions are required time before developing new laws and often require the demonstration of real harm before they act. In the meantime, an individual may have to act, sometimes forced to act in legal grey area. The major ethical, social and political issues raised by information system include the 5 more dimensions that first is information rights and obligations. What information rights do individuals and organizations possess with respect to themselves? What can they protect? What obligations do individuals and organizations have concerning this information? See, privacy is the claim of individuals to be left alone, free from surveillance or interference from other individuals or organizations, including the government. The claim to privacy is protected in the US, Canadian, Germany constitutions in a variety of different ways and in other countries through various statutes. Some of internet challenges to privacy are cookies. They are tiny files downloaded by website to visitors' hard drive. They identify visitors' browser and track visiting the sites. Thus, they allow websites to develop profiles on visitors. Next, webbugs. They are tiny graphics embedded in email messages and web pages. They are designed to monitor who is reading a message and transmitting that information to another computer on the internet. Spyware. It's secretly installed on user's computer. It could have abilities such as transmitting users' keystrokes to other computer or display unwanted ads, etc. Next is property rights and obligations. How will traditional intellectual property rights be protected in digital society in which tracing and accounting for ownership is difficult and ignoring such property rights is so easy? Intellectual property is considered to be intangible property created by individuals and corporations. Information technology has made it difficult to protect intellectual property because computerized information can be so easily copied or distributed on networks. Intellectual property is subject to variety of protections under 3 different legal traditions: trade secrets, copyrights and patent laws. Ease of replication, ease of transmission, difficulty in classifying software, compactness and difficult in establishing uniqueness are some of the challenges to intellectual property rights. Next is system quality. What standards of data and system quality should we demand to protect individual rights and the safety of society? It's about the data quality and system errors. What would be an acceptable level of system quality? 100%? Flawless system may be economically unfeasible. There are 3 principal sources of poor system performance. They are software bugs and errors, hardware or facility failures caused by natural or other causes, and poor input data quality. Next is quality of life. What values should be preserved in an information and knowledge based society? Which institution should we protect from violation? Which cultural values and practices are supposed by the new information technology? There are few key negative social consequences of system considering individual, social and political responses. They are balancing power. Although computing power is decentralizing, key decision making power remains centralized. Lower level employees may be empowered to make minor decisions, but the key policy decisions may be as centralized as in the past. Rapidity of change. With more and more efficient marketplace, the time-based competition has an ugly side. The organizations you work for may not have enough time to respond to global competition, thus leaving with much increased risk of existing in short span of time. Maintaining boundaries of family, work and leisure. With continuous improvements in technology, traditional boundaries that separate work from family and just plain leisure are weakening. This further results into weaker bond within the family. Dependence and vulnerability. In current world, our businesses, governments, schools and private associations are greatly dependent on information systems and hence therefore highly vulnerable if these systems fail. Accountability and control. Who can and will be held accountable and liable for the harm done the individual and collective information and property rights? There is no straightforward answer. I suggest reading through multiple real world examples, case studies which would help you to understand the context of each case and thus get answers to above questions. Now let us briefly discuss the technology trends that raise ethical issues. Information technology has heightened ethical concerns, challenged existing social arrangements and made some laws absolute or several crippled. Information technologies and systems have also created new opportunities for criminal behavior and mischief. There are 4 key technological trends responsible for these ethical stresses. They are: first is computing power doubles every 18 months. The doubling of computing power every 18 months has made it possible for most organizations to use information system for their core production process As a result, our dependence on system and our vulnerability to system errors and poor data quality have increased. Second, data store cost rapidly decline. Advances in data storage techniques and rapidly declining storage costs have resulted into multiplying effects for databases and information repositories. These advances in data storage have made the routine violation of individual privacy both cheap and effective. Good example is the detailed search histories of every user maintained by Google. Such a huge collection of consumer intention becomes obvious targets of private firms looking for marketing advantage, private investigations, etc. Third is very important, data analysis advances. Companies and government agencies are able to find out much detailed personal information about individuals from large pools of data. The use of computer system to combine data from multiple sources and create electronic dossiers of detailed information on individuals is called profiling. A new data analysis technology called non-obvious relationship awareness, that is also called NORA, has given both the government and the private sector even more powerful profiling capabilities. NORA can take information about people from many disparate sources such as employment applications, telephone records, customer listings and wanted lists, and correlate relationship to find obscure hidden connections that might help identify criminals or terrorists. Next is networking advances the internet. Advances in networking includes the internet reducing cost of moving and accessing large quantities of data, ease of mining large pools of data remotely using small desktop machines, invasion of privacy on a scale and with a precision is unimaginable. Next is the development of global digital communication networks widely available to individuals and businesses poses many ethical and social concerns. Who will account for flow of information over these networks? Will you be able to trace information collected about you? Let us briefly talk about basic concepts. Responsibility, accountability and liability. Ethical choices are the decisions made by individuals who are responsible for the consequences of their actions. Responsibility is a key element of ethical action. Responsibility means that you accept the potential cost, duties and obligations for the decisions you make. Accountability. Accountability is a feature of systems and social institutions. It means that the mechanisms are in a place to determine who took responsible action and who is responsible. Systems and institutions in which it is impossible to find out who took what action are inherently incapable of ethical analysis or ethical actions. Liability. It extends the concept of responsibility further to the area of laws. Liability is a feature of political systems in which a body of laws is in a place that permits individuals to recover the damages done to them by other actors, systems or organizations. These basic concepts form the foundation of ethical analysis of information system and those who manage them. First, information technologies are filtered through social institutions, organizations and individuals. Systems do not have impacts by themselves. Whatever information system impact exists are products of institutional, organizational and individual actions and behaviors. Second, responsibility for consequences of technology falls clearly on the institutions, organizations and individual managers who choose to use the technology. Using information technology is a socially responsible manner means that you can and will be held accountable for consequences of your action. Third, in an ethical, political society, individuals and others can recover damages done to them through a set of laws characterized by due process. To conclude, information technology has raised new possibilities for behavior for which laws and rules of acceptable conduct have not yet been developed. Information technology is introducing changes that create new ethical issues for society to debate and resolve. Increasing computing power, storage and networking capabilities, including internet, can expand the reach of individual and organizational actions and magnify their impacts. The ease and anonymity with which information can be communicated, copied and manipulated in online environment are challenging traditional rules of right and wrong behavior. Ethical, social and political issues are closely related. Ethical issues confront individuals who must choose a course of action, often in a situation in which two or more ethical principles are in conflict. Social issues spring from ethical issues as societies develop expectations in individuals about the correct course of action. Political issues spring from social conflict and are mainly concerned with using laws that prescribe behavior to create situations in which individuals behave correctly. Thank you.